Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mason. I'm coming to you from Canada. It is my birthday today, so wish me a happy birthday in the comments. Let's get to this. 10 inventions you didn't know were Dutch. We're showing, this could be, they're not saying they invented Blockbuster. I'm guessing that was an American company, so maybe did they invent the DVD? Let's find out. Hope everyone's doing good. Make sure to get engaged. Hop into the comment section. Let's go.
Did you know this is Dutch? The Dutch influence is really strong here. And this
Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg.
wouldn't be possible without the Dutch. What if I told you this tiny country created some of the world's most important inventions? But this is the image most have of the Netherlands. Bikes, tulips, windmills, Amsterdam. But there's so much more. And I was surprised to learn how much the Dutch
And directness, honesty, efficiency.
actually contributed to modern day society. So here are 10 Dutch inventions I didn't know.
And fried snacks from wall vending machines. The best way I could. Hot snacks, hot fried food from little vending machine windows in presumably the big city centers.
Were Dutch. Remember these? DVDs. I used to sell DVDs in
Hey, I do remember those. I still have many. I collect. I like my physical media because the streaming company, they're just going to alter stuff, like, especially as we keep going, like they're going to alter stuff. They're going to take titles away. So I like to have the physical media. If you truly value whatever that piece of art is that you're getting, and that comes to music, books, like everything, all that art, music, books, DVDs, films.
Hollywood. I worked for Universal Studios back in the day, and DVDs made the studios billions of dollars. At one point, DVDs were the biggest moneymakers for Hollywood. And a big part thanks to the Dutch. Because the Dutch helped invent the DVD. Now, the DVD wasn't invented by just one person. It was a team effort. Back in the 90s, there used to be a video format war. Philips and Sony had the multimedia compact disc, and Toshiba and Time Warner had the super density disc.
Wait, what about the laser disc? Anybody remember that? Big one? It looked more like a vinyl record.
But in the mid-90s, they agreed to merge into one DVD format. And soon thereafter, the DVD would revolutionize Hollywood. And thanks to Dutch technology, it was possible for millions around the world to watch affordable Hollywood movies like 50 Fist Dates, Sean Connery versus the Cock, and Star Wars, Return of Arnold.
Yeah, you can get some funny rip-offs overseas, knockoff films. Look at that. Commando, Arnold as a Jedi.
So one could say the Dutch played a big role in Hollywood's success. And actually, the DVD was developed using technology from the CD, which was also invented by the Dutch. In the 1970s, in the beautiful city of Eindhoven, Joop Sinjau of Philips led the project to develop the CD. Later, Philips would team up with Sony to create one single design. And this Dutch engineer, Kees Immink, is credited for developing the technology inside the CD. And then the CD would revolutionize the music industry. The CD brings back a lot of memories. I would go to the Virgin Megastore with friends just to listen to music, CDs. It was...
I mean, yeah, every new piece of technology revolutionizes whatever industry it was in. He says he used to go to the store, put on the headphones, listen to music. They used to do the same thing with vinyls before that. I'm sure they did it with cassette tapes. And now we kind of do it with streaming, but physical stores certainly are kind of dying off as people retreat to their separate houses to listen to streaming platforms, I suppose. People aren't as much going out, and I do appreciate those vinyl and music stores, and I'll still go to them when I get the chance. And usually there is a vinyl record player in there, and you can let it go for a spin and throw on the headphones. It's a good time. But I still have the vinyl record player at home, which I still appreciate. I like holding it, looking at the art, putting on side A and just letting it play through.
An experience. And CDs weren't just for music. CDs were also my first introduction to the internet. And many of my favorite games, like Diablo, used to come in the form of CDs. So the Dutch played a hand in revolutionizing the gaming, internet, and music industries. And speaking of the music industry, what do the Dutch and Snoop Dogg have in common? No, not weed. But listen closely.
Gin and juice, laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Songs in the 90s, but the song could have been very different if it weren't for the Dutch, because it was the Dutch who invented gin. A Dutch physician named Franciscus Sylvius is often recognized to be.
It's a bit of a reach to tie the Snoop Dogg song to. Yeah, sure, the Dutch invented gin, but
the inventor of gin in the 17th century.
I guess that chorus wouldn't exist.
Snoop
You're right.
And Dr. Dre even created their own gin brand. So the next time you order a gin and tonic, let's cheers to Franciscus and Snoop. They even look like brothers from another mother. But you better not drink gin while you drive, because you might get a speeding ticket. And you can blame the Dutch for that, because
Good. Thank you, Dutch.
they invented the speed camera. Maurice Gatsonides, a Dutch race car driver.
Okay, I'm not as big a fan of speed cameras, but you know what? Maybe they're good. I guess if a person is dangerously driving excessively, then yeah, they're probably a good thing, I guess.
Is credited with developing the first speed.
If you're going like 10, 15 over and it gives you a ticket, that's a little greasy.
Camera in the 1950s. He was a world-class rally driver and he wanted to go even faster. So he created a gadget to track his speed. He later saw a potential business opportunity and created a company, Gatsometer. So today we can thank the Dutch for inventing speeding tickets. Speeding cameras. But we can really thank the Dutch for Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi. Vic Hayes, a Dutchman, is often credited as the father of Wi-Fi. While he
Vic Hayes, it doesn't sound like a particularly Dutch name. It sounds like
wasn't the sole inventor of Wi-Fi.
North American name almost.
He's the guy who played a crucial role in developing the foundations of modern Wi-Fi technology and standards.
Don't rip me for that comment.
Vic. I can now use Wi-Fi
probably a lot of Vic
to pay
Hayes
for my
here.
$200 speeding ticket
Vic Hayes
online.
there.
Well, we should also thank another Dutchman for another piece of revolutionary technology. Bluetooth. Jaap Hartsen was a Dutch engineer with Ericsson in Sweden,
Nice.
and in 1994, he was tasked with finding a radio link to connect phones and devices. And the name Bluetooth actually comes from a Danish and Norwegian king called Harald Bluetooth. By now, you might think the Dutch are a bunch of nerds, and you might have a point. But do you know what this is? This rabbit Miffy has become a global sensation, and at first I thought she was Japanese. But Miffy is actually Dutch. She was created by a Dutch artist, Dick Bruna, in 1955 when he was on holiday with his son and saw a rabbit in the Dutch dunes. The name Miffy is international, but the original Dutch name is Nijntje, which means little rabbit. And today, Miffy is global. While the Netherlands is Miffy's home, she's especially popular in Japan, where there are shops, cafes, and theme parks too. And Miffy being a global business isn't surprising.
It's only so long until somebody makes a Miffy horror movie.
Parks too. And Miffy being a global business isn't surprising, given the Dutch were the pioneers of global trade. The Dutch East India Company, or the VOC. The VOC was created in 1602 to profit from the lucrative spice trade in Asia. But they needed money to build ships and manage their operations. So they came up with a revolutionary idea, selling shares to the public. And thus, the modern-day stock market was born with the Amsterdam Stock Exchange. And with it, the VOC also became the first multinational company too, which paved the way for corporations and multinationals to exist around the world. Wait, you're telling me the most beloved group in the Netherlands, the expats, are there thanks to the Dutch? But anyways, we do have to thank the Dutch for the modern day stock market, which has helped millions of people around the world build wealth. And just like the Dutch East India
Yeah. Okay.
Company, if you'd like to help me, you can do so via my Patreon page. A coffee a month supports me in making these videos. In return, you will forever receive my priceless gratitude. Thank you. Well, speaking of investments and the stock market, we wouldn't have Wall Street if it weren't for the Dutch. Like, literally.
That area in Manhattan was originally New Amsterdam, right? No, maybe? Let's see.
Because the Dutch were the first Europeans to settle in New York City in the 17th century. New Netherland was founded by the Dutch West India Company to capitalize...
Was it New Netherland or New Amsterdam? Because it seems to say at the top there, Tevoren New Amsterdam up Manhattan.
On the North American fur trade. That colony grew to include New York City,
New Netherland,
Long Island, Connecticut, and New Jersey. And the capital was New Amsterdam, at the tip of Manhattan.
Kenneth Kniff from Connecticut. Guess who's back?
And today, you can still see a lot of Dutch influence in the Big Apple. Harlem comes from the Dutch city of Haarlem. Brooklyn comes from the Dutch city of Brooklyn. Wall Street is named after an actual wall that was built around New Amsterdam. And the New York Yankees, they have Dutch origins too. Yankee refers to the people of the US, and many historians say the name comes from the Dutch names Jan, Kees, Janke, Yankees. And there's a lot more too, but to be honest, I've been to New York City several times and I had no idea there were so many street names, neighborhood names named after Dutch places. New York City is actually very Dutch. And I bet you didn't know this is Dutch too. No.
I actually did know about New York City and its incredibly high amount of Dutch influence. It's pretty cool.
It's not space cakes.
That makes sense.
Well, the Dutch actually invented the thing that allows us to see into the universe.
The Hubble telescope?
The telescope.
Oh, the telescope.
Hans Lippershey, a German-Dutch eyeglass maker, built the first telescope in 1608. Word of the telescope spread fast, and soon it reached Galileo, who then made his own telescope. So while Galileo is more well-known, it was actually Hans that invented the telescope. Today we can see the stars, space, galaxies, universes, all thanks to Hans. So, did you know about any of these Dutch inventions? Now, I'm sure there are many more, so please leave them in the comments below. And while the Netherlands will still have these certain stereotypes, it actually is a tiny country, but with big, giant contributions to the world. So, next time you watch a DVD, think Dutch video device. Next time
Sean Connery versus the cock. That's...
you drink a gin and tonic, think of Snoop and Franciscus. Next
Snoop
time
and his
you
twin.
use Bluetooth or Wi-Fi.
The Bluetooth logo, though, that was... It's like is that Norse?
Think of Snoop and Franciscus. Next time you use Bluetooth,
like, or like Viking runes or Norse runes of some kind. Some sort of Scandinavian. That's what it looks like.
Or Wi-Fi, think about Vic and Yop. Next time you come across a CD, I don't know what you do with a CD nowadays, but you can...
If you're me, you have a big book of them in your vehicle that you still use and have a CD player in there just because you appreciate, you like it.
Did you know?
They thought they saw a cute bunny rabbit grazing on the beach. What they didn't know is that Miffy is... damn it. I could write a script for my Miffy horror movie trailer. I'll have to do that next time. Here's a game. Guess my age in the comments. Either make me feel young or old. I don't feel any different. But yeah, take a good look. Blue steel. All right. Interesting video. Yeah, the Dutch influence is worldwide. You know, the Dutch Empire. It's huge, huge, huge. All right. See you on the next one.